I'm mainly interested in flux and real-time project and online content. So, but I've prepared an offline presentation, so I won't have Philippe's problem. So this afternoon I would like to speak, well, thank you for inviting me first to the team, for the warm welcome in Mons. I would like to speak of 3 different projects I'm working on. So one is Locus Sonus. So this is a sound lab I've been collaborating with for 3 years now. It's more a coordinating job I have with them. And then I'm going to speak about my curatorial practices. So I've created an environment and invented a software that enables artists to mix some live internet content on multi-screen environments. And that will be the occasion of speaking about how to show online projects in physical spaces. So Locus Sonus is a sound lab, and it's supported by 2 art schools in France. So the 2 director of researchers are Jérôme Joie. He used to work in Nice. He was running the sound department in the Villarson, but now he moved to Bourges, to the School of Art of Bourges. And the other school is T.R.A.C.E.S, and we are working with Peter Sinclair, who's taking care of the sound lab in the School of Art of Bourges. So Locus Sonus is a big group of people. So there is Peter Sinclair and Jérôme Joie and myself coordinating the lab. And we have some researchers that come and work with our team for a period that can go from 1 year to 3 or 4 years. It depends. So now we're working with a Colombian artist called Alejo Duque, Scott Fitzgerald, who's an American artist. He lives in New York, and Julian Klaus, you might have met. He has this nice project called Stimulin with Limpuk. And we have an international network of partners that are all around the world and who have open mics. So they have open microphone, and they are sending some sound 24 hours out of 24 hours, non-stop, on the server of Locus Sonus. So the map is on our website, but here you can have a look at the different parts of the world where we have these people streaming some sound. We've developed a stream box, so we send them some little boxes that enables them easily to stream sound without having to use their own computer to do it, because sometimes we had on and off microphones because it was quite difficult for them to have the computer dedicated to this streaming project. So we can say that the streams are like the raw material, one of the raw material, because we also organize symposium, as Jody said. Each year we have a symposium on some specific subjects. So last year it was sonification, and the next symposium will be about remote listening. So these sound. So here you have the name of all the collaborators. This network of people streaming is increasing because we are building more and more little boxes, and more people are participating to this project. And so we can say that it's like a raw material that gives birth to a lot of different installations, sound installations. So we have artists using this sound. Of course, they are freely accessible on the website. So whoever wants to use these streams can do it. And inside the lab, we have been developing in collaboration with the Transcultures. So this is a little extract of some sounds. So I've we've edited it so we could listen to it, because otherwise I would have gone on the website and clicked on the name of the screamer. So people, they just put their mic at their window, so it can be the sound of the street somewhere in China or in wherever, Africa. We have people all over the world. So this new project that Transcultures has co-produced with us is a sound installation that we put in the street. Here, it's going to be put in the street in Mons in this summer. But the first time the project was presented was at the Mimi Festival in the south of France, on an island, which is just half an hour away from Marseille. And so we built the 10 parables. So these sound showers enable you to listen to the sound when you're underneath the shower. When you're out of the zone, you don't hear the sound anymore. So this is a way of crossing, speaking of mobility, this is a way of crossing these different soundscapes. So when you go from one sound shower to another sound shower, you listen to the sound which is coming remotely from somewhere at the other side of the world. In Mimi, we developed this QR, so the people who were just coming to visit the festival, they could, if they had the proper phone, of course, know from where the sound was coming from. Because as we have like 30 different streams, and we had only 10 parables, it was a way of knowing if the sound was coming from Colombia. We have a stream in 2 different cities, and when I was listening to the horse walking, I knew it was in the little village. I forgot the name now. I wanted to say it for you. I forgot. Anyway, I will tell you later. This is another version of the sound project, the sound map, the Promenade project. Sorry. So it's an app we have developed for iPad and for the iPhone. So this was presented in Paris. It's not like the Promenade. You don't go from one parable to another parable. You just have the sound map on either on your phone or on the iPad, and you just trigger the sound and listen to it either with your headphones or with a special speaker. That's it. So if you go, you have a little information on where the sound comes from, who is taking care of the microphone, where it has been put. So some also put in extreme weathers in the north of Europe where it's freezing cold. So they are telling us how they put a little coat on the mic and all these nice little details. Okay, so that's for Roquigny. So I'm going to speak about a project that I've been working on for, I think it's 5 years now, 6 years. So as a curator, I've always been thinking of how to show online projects in festivals, in physical space. And because I always thought that it was quite difficult to show online projects in a venue, because surfing, going through the internet, is more something you do on your own, at home, in an intimate space, and it's not something you share with other people. So I invented this WebJ project. So first it was a software. I'm not a programmer. I had the software developed by a young programmer called T.R.A.C.E.S. He's in Prague now, actually. And so this software enables all the artists I invite to navigate in real time on the multi-screen environment. So the project is called VJs, so you have DJs playing with sound, VJs playing with video, and WebJs playing with web. So yeah, that's kind of summary of what it is. So the idea is to consider internet as a giant hard disk and to download in real time content coming from the internet on different screens. So this project fits in my little suitcase. I have a little suitcase with all my computers in it, and I've been traveling quite a lot actually with all my little computers. So I plug them on whatever equipment there is available in the venue where I'm invited to do the performance. I'm not a performer actually. I invite many artists. I think there's been more than 100 or 200 maybe artists who have been now playing with the project. So what do? The artists, or I do a lot of workshops, they do a playlist with some internet websites, and then they navigate in real time on the number of video projectors we have. So the idea is to have the more immersive environment as possible, but sometimes only 3 screen, 5 screen. So the idea is to have the web as a medium and to navigate in real time. This project was shown a lot in Eastern Europe. I think the first festivals or venues who trusted me and who understood what I was talking about, actually, when I was first starting about this online real-time, navigation, was I was invited at Dispatch Festival in Belgrade. I also was working with some artists in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, in Maribor, because we were speaking about this morning, and in Dakar even, where there's not a lot of electricity and it's not granted that you have some bandwidth, but we had the most amazing experience in countries where sometimes the bandwidth was quite slow, but we put the videos in the cache, and then we managed to have some really great performances. This was a performance by a Slovenian artist, net artist, Igor Stromayer. Strangely enough, some artists I invite them either to play with their own project online or to play with some other content. And Igor Stromayer, he didn't play at all with his project online, because he has a lot of, he's a famous net artist, but he only played with some revolutionary content. This was the workshop we did in Italy. So here is the environment. This is what the mini computers I have in my suitcase. So we plug each computer to the internet, to the sound system, and to the video projectors. And one of the computers is like, you have a sound desk, is like a web desk, and it enables you to choose where to put the content. So, for example, site URL A goes on screen 1 and 2, or URL B goes on screen 2 and 3, and then you can navigate at the same time on all the screens at the same time. Very clear, but I'm going to show you something. So, I work a lot with Anna Forêt. She just got her PhD, and she's working on the preservation of net-based projects. And Isabelle Arvers, she's a curator, and they often do workshops with me, and they also have their own performances. So I curate artists who become themselves curator, because they have to choose the content they're going to play with. So this is a performance by Anne. She mainly plays online with computer art, software art content. So she navigates in real time on all the screens she has in the space. So when you see the mouse, she's actually surfing real time in the different websites. So this is another performance by Isabelle, and she has many different performances. She has one on geolocalization and psychogeography, and this is a performance she does with only some works online by a collective called NIN. So with Raphael Rosenthal's project and Miltos Manetas. So what interests me is to, yes, consider internet like a giant hard disk. But what interests me mainly is where each person will take you to the internet, because each time it's the people, the WebJ, they really take you to some parts of the internet where you would not have necessarily gone. And what is interesting when you have this kind of really globalization and all, I think that 10% of anyway, I think that most of the people who surf, they mainly surf on I'm getting confused with numbers now. Anyway, with Facebook and YouTube, what's interesting is to go beyond these the social networks or these, and just to have artists taking you to some interesting parts of the internet. This was a performance by a young Italian who did the workshop with us, and so she's mainly playing with the content from the grandfather of the internet, from the first person who thinking the internet as a space for creation, so the net artist from the beginning of the internet. So this environment changes all the time according to who really plays with it. This is another performance by Anne Laforêt. So I'm showing you some extracts. This was a workshop we did, because most of the time when I do a workshop, and the first links, the first bookmarks, the participant come with, or this YouTube, and sometimes I say, no, please, I mean, come with some other content. And so for Centre Pompidou, we did a workshop with some students from Paris 8, and they were only, they could only play with some YouTube content. So that was quite funny. The theme of the festival, T.R.A.C.E.S, was the house. So it was mainly, YouTube video done by amateur. This was a performance done in Romania, in CBU, by two young artists, Karen Derminer and Marika Derminer, her sister, who belong to a collective called Incident. And this collective, they've been producing some net pieces for 10 years now. So they were playing mainly with the contents from the... So there we are. When I arrived there was only 2 video projectors. So we had the 2 video projectors facing each other. So this is a performance by Sylvie Astier. And what's interesting too is the sound also comes from the internet. So we can really have different layers of sound and play with different sounds coming from different websites. So the environment also becomes a way of composing some sound. You can compose some sound with the different sounds from the website. Okay. I forgot to... something. So this project also becomes a space for organizing some conferences. So I have started to interview people about the long history of internet. So I've been organizing like 50 different conferences with artists, critics, theorians from all over the world, and asking them about internet and how they've been dealing with internet, how they've been creating for internet, how internet has changed their way of thinking. How much? 10. Okay, I go quickly. And so how internet has changed their way of collaborating, of exchanging, and the future also, the future of internet. So so these people, I started doing it in France with some French artists, critics, and curator, and that gave birth afterwards to a publication. So in there, so if you're interested, I have a few. So you have the text in French and in English, and also all the links we've been navigating through, because instead of like me having a PowerPoint. We navigate in real time in a list of bookmarks in websites they've given us in advance. So they are telling us about the. So this is a French artist who's been adopted by Belgium. She's called Lucie Calmel. So she was doing her presentation, and we were navigating behind her on the different websites she had given us. This was the presentation by Mouchette. So she did her coming out, if we can say, in Paris, and she said that she was called Martine Neda because she had hidden her identity, I think, for 15 years. And it was quite moving in a way because people were saying, oh, I had bet all my life that you were a man and I didn't know you were a woman. And it was the first time she was really seeing an audience because, I mean, she was always behind her computer and only showing her work on the internet. And when she did this presentation, I mean, she realized, I mean, she knew, I guess, that she had some fans, but she could really physically experience this feedback from the audience, and that was quite nice. So this is the list of the people, and this project is, well, it's not finished because I'm going to do many different, Ouija is the performance project, and Ouija is the conference project. So the extensions, I'll be doing some Ouija. It was also online, so we had a lot of people following the conference on the internet and exchanging with us through the chat. I did a Ouija spot in Transcultural also with 8 other participants. Here we are. And the videos are also online, so you have the book where you can read the conferences, and you can also see the videos online. And another project I've been doing recently is from an open source idea from a German artist called Aram Bartol. So he has his own production. I think what's interesting in his work, and this is also one of the questions I ask the people, is not only net-based project and online experiences, but how today you have this back and forth between the physical space and the virtual space, and all these different ways of going back and forth between the physical space and the virtual space. And Aram Bartol, he has this project called a speed show, and he's been doing a few speed shows. I think one in Berlin and one in Amsterdam. So I organized the speed show in Paris. So the idea is you find a nice open internet cafe. You rent all the machines, all the computers for the evening, and you make an exhibition with a project, online project. So we selected, I invited Marie Lechner, she's a French journalist, and with Aram, of course, we selected 17 online pieces, recent projects, and we were presenting them on the machine in this Turkish cyber coffee in Paris, and it was really great. And I'm actually really, when I discovered internet, it was 15 years ago, and I was working in Paris in this cyber coffee called the Web Bar. And that's how I discovered internet and all the artists thinking the internet as a space for creation. And so for me it was like going back 15 years before, but at the same time I think it's also quite nice because these spaces are not, they're disappearing in a way. I mean, in Paris it was quite hard to find an internet cafe with 17 computers to do the exhibition. So it's also nice, yeah, to show, I mean, with this mobility also, where to be able to organize an exhibition in 10 minutes if you want, and choose the space where you want to do the exhibition. So we were giving a piece of paper with the name of the artist and a translation of the text presenting the artist. And that was really a great experience. So you can have a look at the websites. And I wanted to show you. So yeah, this is the address of my VJ project, the Roquigny project, my personal website, and I wanted just to show you the. No. Yeah, that was just the name of the artist we presented in Paris. Well, that's it. I could go on, but I'm ready for some questions if you have any. Thank you.
Questions? Comments or questions? Questions, réactions?
Ladies and gentlemen.
I have a question.
Okay.
The Locus Sonus, the streaming boxes.
Yeah.
You made, I think it was Thomas, the Blanche Noir. There. He was telling me about this Badex in streamer, so it's like you connect the sound and then it automatically converts it to the stream. So I'm just curious, have you've developed your own system? Like
Yes.
this was I think it cost $400 or something.
No, we sell the boxes, but really the price of the computer and the programmers from the lab, they've been developing. It's an open source project. All the documentation is online. You can also build your own stream box if you want, or order it. And no, it's a homemade technology. I don't know.
Cool. And do you think we could put some on bridges?
Of course.
Excellent.
Of course. Yeah.
But you need a power supply, I guess.